Shalom, welcome to the weekly dose of Emuna for Shabbat Kodesh. Today I'd like to talk about the idea of the Shabbos lights. It's written that Noam Elimelech Zatzal spoke about when Adam was dwelling in the spiritual world before he sinned. The spiritual world was called Etz HaChaim. And he was supposed to stay elevated in that place forever. And that's why Hashem told him, don't eat from the tree of knowledge, which was going to bring him down to a physical being, only to eat from the tree of life. But unfortunately, Adam sinned, and he fell from his spiritual heights, and he became physical. And after that, Hashem made him a garment of skin. And the garment of skin, the way it's described in the Torah, is with an ayin vav resh, skin. Yet Rabbi Meir teaches, as he wrote in his own Sefer Torah, he actually wrote the word with an aleph. And what he was trying to teach us by that is that if we deserve it, and if we work towards it, we can in fact take the ayin from the or, and it will turn into an aleph, which is or, meaning light. So we see here the great importance of the whole idea of light in Shabbat. In fact, the Midrash tells us that the blessing and the honor of Shabbat are, in fact, the Shabbat lights. And Hashem wants to teach us that if we kindle the Shabbat lights, it's written, I will show you the marvelous radiance that will shine upon Yerushalayim. What is the merit? That we would be able to enjoy the great radiant lights of Yerushalayim? It's written so that we should understand when we light the Shabbat candles how dear it is to Hashem that we have the zchut to light these candles. It's also written in the Torah, actually the Or HaChaim explains that Hashem created the world to last for 6 days. In fact, every Shabbat, the world receives a special renewed injection to give it life for another 6 days. So that is one of the reasons why one of the first things that were brought into creation was the idea of light. And so that's why the first mitzvah when we bring in Shabbat is through kindling the Shabbat lights. And that corresponds to that light that was first brought about in creation. The other thing that I find quite amazing is that according to the Chazal, Shabbat doesn't really need our lights. In fact, Shabbat in itself is the source of all the radiance. And with the arrival of Shabbat in every Jewish home, there's this lightened up spirit and awakening of splendor. So what is the reason why we have to light Shabbat candles, that we're instructed to light them? And so Chazal teach us that it's only because every awakening from above has to first be preceded by an awakening from below. Meaning that Hashem's blessing only descends when we take the first step. And by lighting the Shabbat candles, we in fact awaken Hashem's favor, and that is how He bestows His divine light on us. It also says that the Sefer Kav Hayashar says that the Shabbat candles actually have the ability to foretell the future. Rabbi Pinchas of Koritz actually says that before the Shabbos lights burn out, they predict all that's going to happen for the coming week. But unfortunately, because we're in the place where we're in such a low spiritual place, we can't hear what they're actually saying. But imagine the Kedusha that's radiating from our Shabbat candles. Also, it's told that if we would be on that spiritual level of Ruach HaKodesh, we would actually be able to see future events by simply gazing at the Shabbat lights, because they foretell the future with the same precise accuracy that the prophets did, speaking in the name of Hashem. And another point to think about this coming Shabbat when we light the candles is that the mitzvah of Shabbat, of lighting Shabbat candles, really talks about the idea of the galus that we want to plead that Hashem should redeem His Jewish people. Hashem should bring the Geula. And when we light the Shabbos candles, it actually recalls before Hashem the idea of Aaron HaKohen lighting the menorah in the Mishkan. And we ask in the zchut of us lighting the Shabbos candles that Hashem please reconsider that we're lighting the candles with such simcha and with such kedusha, that He should consider our kindling of the lights as if Aaron HaKohen and his sons were lighting the menorah before HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So much food for thought, so much to think about the next time that we light our Shabbat candles, and hopefully Be'ezrat Hashem it'll inject us with some new zest and some new excitement on what we're actually doing. I'd like to just place a little reminder to everyone that we're planning our USA Canada tour. Please feel free to go on our website, dailydoseofemuna.com, and give a contact to Rachel, our tour coordinator, who is arranging for shiurim and book launching events and speaking events that will be coming up in the neighborhood for you to help and pitch in and bring about the Emuna events that are being planned in your community. Thanks so much and have a great Shabbos.